That should have connected the audio. Lambeau looked at me like I'm crazy. Hi, cutting in real quick. I just wanted to say before you actually start watching this video that the entire first part of it looks like it was filmed on an actual potato. I was using the camera that I had, like the actual camera that I had, because I needed my phone, which I explain. It's such an old camera that my phone camera is eons better than that camera. So you're gonna have to forgive the video quality for the first part of it, but when I actually start cooking this recipe, it'll be fine again. Hello, welcome back to another video. This video is going to be fun. I'm currently coming at you on the old Nikon that I have that I got from Dan's grandpa because I need my phone. Usually I record on my phone, but today I'm not because I need to film while I'm using my phone and Dan isn't home so I can't use his phone. Anyway, so today is a very fun video because this is an idea that I came up with a couple of months ago. Basically what it is I really enjoy cooking. I enjoy trying new meals. If you look on this shelf, all back there, that entire row of books, all of that is cookbooks. Different types of cookbooks with just thousands of recipes in them. And I have arguably not even scratched the surface of the amount of recipes that I have versus the amount that I have tried. So this video, I thought it would be fun to basically pick one of those recipes out of one of those cookbooks at random and make it almost no matter what it is. So what I've done is I got this, I think that's focused. This camera is a manual focus, so things are out of focus, I'm sorry. I got this app that is just like a wheel and you can put whatever you want on it. So I went through probably a month ago or so and I wrote down every single cookbook that I own and I put it on this wheel so that we can spin it and that will completely randomly pick a cookbook for me. And then I'm going to go through, see how many pages are in that cookbook and spin a second wheel with that number, that many numbers on it, and whatever page it lands on will be the recipe that I choose. Now, if there's more than one recipe on that page, I will once again spin a wheel with however many recipes is on that page, and we'll do whatever number it is. I have no sway in if one gets picked over another. It is all totally random. Now, before we actually start picking these recipes, I do want to say I do have a few veto powers. So, for example, if I go into this and it ends up picking a recipe out of a cookbook that I have already made before, and I know for a fact it is not a good recipe, I'm not going to make it again because I don't want to waste those ingredients when I already know ahead of time that I did in fact try it and it's not good. Also, like, I could make a food, I could make a drink, I could make a dessert, I could make a main dish. I could make bread. It doesn't matter. If it lands on something alcoholic, I will also be skipping it. Now, if it lands on like a bourbon chicken recipe that it calls for a little bit of bourbon into the recipe, that's fine because the alcohol content will cook out, so that I don't mind. But if it lands on a page that has a margarita on it, I'm not gonna do that. So I do have a couple things that if it lands on it, I have the power to say no. But if it just lands on a recipe that I'm like, I don't know about this, I'm cooking it. I'm not going to just choose no because I don't want to make it. Screen recording now so you can see. Here's my wheel, all of the many, many colors. So let's see. Oh, that's noisy. Okay, let me just. This isn't the real spin, by the way. See, like that landed on holiday recipes, but now we're going to actually spin. Let's see what this lands on. Did it even go all the way around once? Campbell's Super Recipes. All right, let me go grab that cookbook quick. Okay, so the recipe book that it grabbed was actually not a book, but this Campbell's tin, and it says super recipes. There's a lot of other recipes in here than just soup. And so you open it up, and it is all of these cards, just full of recipes. They are all organized. There are some tabs in there because I have actually gone through this and tabbed recipes that I thought would be good to try. So what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to sit down and count exactly how many different recipes are in here, starting from the very beginning and working my way back. And I will pop back in when I have that number typed into a wheel so we can spin that again. All right, it is probably 20 minutes later. I went ahead, I counted every last recipe that was in here, and altogether we have 361 different recipes. So I went ahead, I got a new app, which you can see on the screen, and this one, all I had to do was type in the minimum number and maximum number, as you can see. So I have minimum is 1, maximum is 361, and all I have to do is hit generate, and that is gonna tell us exactly which recipe we are cooking. And I have a piece of paper here that I used to sort of keep track of all of the sections. So once I pick out that number, it's gonna be significantly easier for me to find where the recipe is. So I'm not just having to sit there and then count all of them again. All right, so ready? Here goes the generator. Go. 104. We're making a cake. All right, so cakes. Let's pull out all of the cakes section. 2, 103. It's nowhere near as exciting as the ones on either side of it. All right, so 104 is a poppy seed bundt cake. Yay. That is the poppy seed bundt cake that we will be cooking today. I have the recipe on the back there. Okay, so let's fast forward to after I've gotten all of the ingredients for this, and let's make a bundt cake. Welcome to my kitchen. So it is the next day now. I went out this morning and got everything that I needed, which wasn't very much, honestly. This is a very simple recipe. I wanted to go over the recipe just so that you guys know exactly what I'm making. So it is a poppy seed bundt cake. So you have the front of the little paper that has a picture of what the bundt cake will look like, along with a quote from somebody that I guess had tried it or they made it. I honestly don't know. But then on the back is the actual recipe for it. So it calls for 1 package of 18 1/4 ounce yellow cake mix, 1 package 3.4 ounces of instant coconut cream pudding mix, 1 cup of water, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, 3 eggs, 2 tablespoons of poppy seeds, and confectioner's sugar. I went to the store today to get the few ingredients that I didn't have already. I got the poppy seeds, so I have those ready to go. Those were the only things I didn't have to change. I did have to tweak the yellow cake mix very, very slightly, and the coconut cream pudding mix. So I went to Walmart, that's where I got everything. And the yellow cake mixes, this specifically calls for an 18 1/4 ounce package. All of the cake mixes, yellow cake or not, were 15 ounces. And when you're baking something, I feel like 3 ounces is a big deal. So I'm like, I'm not gonna buy 2 of these containers and try to measure out 3 ounces, I'm not gonna do that. So Jiffy had yellow cake mix in 9 ounce boxes. So I just got 2 of them. Hello. So I just got 2 of them, and that's 18 ounces. So that should be fine. I don't see that being an issue at all. The instant coconut cream pudding mix. There was no coconut cream pudding mix. There was banana cream, there was vanilla, there was chocolate, there was lemon, there was all of these other ones. There was no coconut. So I knew I had to improvise that and get a different flavor. So I got one that I actually wanted to eat, which is lemon, because I'm not a big fan of coconut anyway, so the fact that I had to change it up, I'm not that mad about. And now as far as the bundt cake pan goes, I was actually going to look at buying a regular sized bundt cake pan when I was at Walmart, and I completely forgot until I started filming this. So what we're gonna do with that is my sister-in-law got me this mini bundt cake pan. It's very, very cute. So we're gonna make mini bundt cakes out of this, and I think it's gonna be adorable. So we'll make this mixture, we will put it in this mini bundt cake pan, and we'll make little bite-sized poppy seed lemon bundt cakes. So let me change the angle and get to actually starting mixing stuff. Also, I mean, if you're angry that I'm changing the recipe this much, like, this is how I cook. I improvise a lot. If I know it'll turn out fine, like it's okay. All right, so we are going to start by preheating the oven to 350 degrees. And then in a mixing bowl, we are combining the cake mix and the pudding mixes. Pudding mixes, why does it say two pudding mixes? My cake, oh, cake and pudding mixes, oh, that's why. So, it's very confused by that. So we are combining the cake and pudding mixes, water, oil, and eggs. Beat that on a low speed until everything is moistened. Love that word. And then beat on a medium speed for 2 minutes. It smells so good right now. It tastes so good right now. Please don't ruin this, poppy seeds. Then we're going to stir in the poppy seeds. I promise I can mix better than this. It's just difficult to do with one hand. And pour all of that into greased and floured 10-inch fluted tube pan, or mini bundt cake pan in our case. Of course, as soon as I start recording, the fridge decides to start yelling. All right, to get this into these itty bitty little pans, what I'm gonna do is actually put it in a bag and pipe it into there, because I feel like that's gonna be a lot simpler than trying to like scoop and not get stuff everywhere. I know you can't see any of my face, but it's okay because we're focusing on the glass. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a corner, I'm gonna stick it right down there, and I'm gonna wrap this little bag around the rest of the bowl so it makes a little like holder, I guess. I don't know what you wanna call it. And then I'm gonna go like that and fill the bag. Okay, still delicious. Poppy seeds give it a little bit of a crunch. And then you just take this out. You have all the filling already right down to a corner. I am going to twist this a few times just so it doesn't start coming out of the top, because I'm not gonna seal it any other way. I'm gonna hold it with that hand so that I've got it like this. I'm gonna snip the tip and just fill all of these. Do this over one of them because it's almost definitely gonna start coming out like that. Pull that little piece out. All right. Now the original recipe says to bake it for 48 to 52 minutes or until a toothpick inserted near the center comes out clean, but these mini bundt cakes are going to cook significantly faster, so I'm gonna start it at 12 to 15 minutes and check it from there. I just read the part of the recipe that said greased and floured, so oops. We'll see how this batch turns out. Into the oven with ya. Also, it did not say, nowhere on there does it say how far from the top. So I filled them up. This first little batch is very experimental. Now while we wait for that to finish cooking, we clean up.
How's it going?
Oh well, first batch is in the oven, okay. Not the microwave.
You can microwave cakes, I know this.
Oh my gosh, it smells so good! Oh my, those are a bit, almost, I don't know if I trust that. I might, they don't feel done. They're coming out clean, but I don't trust it. 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. When they are done cooking, we're going to take them out and let them cool for about 10 minutes before we remove them from a pan and put them on a wire rack to then cool completely. Dust them with some confectioner's sugar and enjoy. So, maybe I shouldn't have filled it quite as full. Those are slight muffin tops we got going on there. All right, these are cooled, so now I gotta put them on there. Ooh, I forgot I didn't, you know, spray this. Also, this isn't hot anymore, so I can just pick it up. Oh dear. Oh, that's gonna be bad. finished pancake. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Spray the pan. I'll be honest, when it says floured pan, I don't exactly know how much flour that means, so I just kind of dusted it. I hope that's enough. Also, I don't plan on filling these nearly as full as last time either. Are those any less full than the last time? I honestly have no idea. Maybe a tiny bit? We're gonna find out when they bake. To the oven. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. I'm so sorry that that graveyard exists. Okay. 12 minutes ago. Oh, I need to put the confectioner's sugar on them. Some confectioner's sugar sprinkled on top. So that's just to dust them. All right, attempt number 1. First attempt. Do you want to try one with me?
Oh, of course I do.
Grab one.
All right. There we go. This looks good. It's kind of like it's coming in its own little saucer.
It is.
Yeah.
A little UFO.
Well, I was thinking more like the original, come on, the original Charlie and Chocolate Factory, when they first walk into the
river?
No, not the river part. This is before the river. They're walking into this room and everything you can eat is edible, and edible, and then Gene Wilder is sipping his tea.
Oh, with the saucer, and then he just bites the cup.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I get that. I get it. This is our little cup that we're gonna bite into.
Basically.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't think it needed the extra 2 minutes that I did put them in for, because it did make the outside just a little tiny bit chewy.
Mm-hmm. They're good.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's lemon poppy seed.
Oh, these are good. I
Yeah.
really like these. I like that they're bite-sized too.
You know? So, makes it seem more healthy.
All right. I will show you guys what the rest of the batches look like. Hopefully they turn out better than the first one did as far as presentation. Taste-wise, if they turn out the exact same, that's great. These are really, really good. I wouldn't mind like a nice big slice of this. I might have to buy a big bun pan now. Dan's gonna have to take these to work with him, so I'm gonna eat them all. 10 out of 10. I mean, right off the bat, this second batch already looks better. All right, I got some of them out pretty whole, and they are absolutely adorable, so I'm gonna top those with just a little bit of confectioner's sugar when I wanna eat them. But I went ahead and filled one more pan. I didn't clean it off beforehand, and I basically filled it with spray before putting the actual stuff in. So we'll see how that sticks this time. We already know this is a delicious recipe. We know it works. The only issue I'm having is with the pan. So now we're just gonna have fun, because I mean, the video's over. You know how you have the recipe yourself. You can make it yourself. You can try it yourself. You know the result. Now I'm just gonna have fun with it and grab some miscellaneous shaped baking pans that I have and just make some fun shapes to use up the rest of this. All right, we've got some donuts and we've got a silicone mold of Christmas trees. Let's do this. All right, I put everything in at the same time. 12 minutes later, the mini ones are done and the donuts are also done, which I think it's the pan, but they're all pulling away from the sides, which is very encouraging. The trees definitely needed more time, so those are going for another 10 minutes and then I'll check on them while we wait. Oh, good recipe. Got all of these off. They all look good. A little bit more crispy than the ones prior. I'm not quite sure why, but I took these out. These Christmas trees look like they ate a lot during the holidays. These all came out great. This is the only one that maintained any sort of like actual donut hole on the top, but all of them are most definitely donuts on the bottom. It's just they kind of all I mean, they're all starting to get a little bit of a dip. The ones that were on like the far edge did get a little burnt just on the one side of them, which is fine. I mean, not that big of a deal. Nobody wants to eat that pit, then you just throw that bit away. But very cute. I just need to wait for these to finish cooling down so I can take them out of there. All right, I'm gonna try to release these. I think my best bet is just to go upside down and then like one at a time, right? I've actually never used a silicone mold before, so I have no idea if this is gonna be effective or not. Okay, I wanna look at one before the rest come. Oh my gosh, look at it. What is that? Oh my gosh, it looks like if a Christmas tree had explosive diarrhea. Oh my gosh. They're little cake trees sitting in little cake puddles. I love them.